Alright, we are going to discuss versions of Siebel. See, Siebel was founded in 1990 by Mr. Thomas Siebel. Okay, this is the history of that company. Okay, then in I think 1995 or 1996, they launched first product. Okay, that used to be Siebel 1 or something. I'm not sure. Okay, I mean,
just my request, I'm not writing anything because you are listening as writing. That is
yeah, and you can,
I
yeah,
will
yes.
be completely diverted.
Yeah.
Only here.
In 1995 or 1996, they launched their first product. I think it must have been Siebel 1. I mean, good scientific knowledge wise, it is very important, but I have never really, nobody has ever asked me when was their first product launched. But in 1998, they had Siebel 3. Whether it was launched in that year or not, I'm not sure. But actually, I've heard of some implementations which were done which started in 1998, and they were all in Siebel 3. One of the biggest implementation was MCI. MCI, they have been using Siebel for the last 9 years. It's 1997. It's 2007 going on, right? So MCI is one company which definitely had it.
MCI stands for?
MCI is a telecom company.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it stands for, but it is an old company. I think it filed for bankruptcy also. I don't know what is the status of that company now. But MCI is a very famous word. Just say AT&T is very famous. Same way MCI is very famous. But Siebel became really famous in 1999. They launched something called a Siebel 5, also called Siebel 99. Okay. It's also called Siebel 99. That's when they really became famous. Okay, and they were quite elaborate. They had Siebel call center, sales, and marketing. They launched all three. Okay, let's say so they launched all three at that time. It used to also be called as Siebel 99. The version was Siebel 5. It was a major hit. At that point it got established that Siebel is a way to make money, like consulting world. In the consulting world, I mean, I remember like TCS, Satyam, Wipro, they all started their Siebel practices because these guys they had SAP practices, same way they started their Siebel practices. And in those days there used to be a product called as Clarify. Okay, there used to be a product called as Clarify, and that product was the main competitor. That was number 2. Eventually, Nortel bought that product, and that product became dead. Now Clarify is no more a competitor of Siebel. There used to be a company called as before in 1995. There used to be a company called as Scopus. That used to be number 1 product before Siebel came. In year 1999 or somewhere around that, Siebel became number 1. Okay. Siebel, people started enrolling in Siebel certifications a lot and all that stuff. And Siebel had I think Siebel started a partnership with IBM at that point. So IBM became their implementation partner, which is a pretty big thing. So IBM they used to count like how many certified Siebel consultants do we have. So IBM used to have like 2,000 certified Siebel consultants, which is a lot of money, which is a lot of like these are some of the talks of the things. How many certified consultants? This is another way to look at how companies doing and things like that. So there were so many Siebel, like they used to have, like, if I remember correctly, like 2,000 Siebel consultants. Similarly, PricewaterhouseCoopers was a major partner. By the way, now PwC and IBM are same companies. Are same companies, but back then they were separate, and PwC has like 250 consultants of Siebel. So it's a pretty big number, because for every consultant they have to spend up to the tune of $10,000 to train them. 250 consultants into 10,000 means $2.5 million. That's a lot of money. So they spend this much money just to start their practice. So that was the first major push that Siebel became kind of a pretty good name in the house in the consulting circles. But the problem with Siebel is it never became that popular. It is still not as popular as SAP is among Desi consultants. This is another dimension I would like to add, like Desi consultants. Desi consultants were, and Siebel 5 were quite, they became serious also about it.
They prefer this SAP.
Yeah, even now, Desi consultants, they all talk about SAP more, but nobody knows about Siebel. Actually, this is good for us. If they all start talking about it, they will all become a competitor. This is a very good market, very good field, but not everybody is in this field.
But SAP and this Siebel, they are mostly the similar products.
No, they are not similar products. Well, they are similar in the sense, but they are not similar. SAP is for back-end business processes. Siebel is for front-end business processes. Okay. The only thing is why I'm comparing is because SAP is also a lucrative skill. Siebel is also a lucrative skill. They both are lucrative. That's why I'm comparing them. You know, if there is something in which it's very, it's a lucrative skill, then everybody should know their name. SAP, PeopleSoft, everybody knows their name, but people do not know the name of Siebel that much.
They cannot replace each other. Siebel
No, they cannot
its own
replace.
market and okay.
Yes, yes. But then today the world is changing. Siebel is launching products in their market. SAP is launching product in Siebel's market. SAP is not making only one thing, right? SAP is now trying to make hundreds of things. Siebel is making some products which are basically getting into Informatica's market, into TIPCO's market, into backend, into SAP's market. Siebel has started launching some modules which are basically nibbling on SAP's area. Okay. Similarly, now Siebel is part of Oracle. 2006, Oracle acquired Siebel. Okay, Oracle acquired Siebel. So now Oracle is Oracle and Siebel. They are both team against SAP. Okay, so we will get to that area. At this point, one of the main things you notice is only horizontals. If you note, Siebel became a pretty successful company at this point. They became number one. They used to have 90% of the market. 90% of the CRM market. CRM stands for customer relationship management, as you guys already know. Okay, they were holding 90% of the market, which is quite a number. I'm sure you guys will agree.
Clarifies that. So should we remove the clarify? You do not.
No. I'm just trying to clarify the name of a product.
Okay.
I'm just.
That was competitor project.
Yes. Yeah, that was a competitive product. It didn't have any market. It was number 2 though, but it didn't have any market. Not all bought Clarify, and it became like Siebel was Siebel was even still now Siebel is holding about 70 to 60% of the CRM market. Okay, so this is year 1999. Okay, in year 2000, Siebel launched a very big suite of products. They used to call it Siebel 6. Okay, then it used to also be called as 2000, Siebel 2000, and they launched, main thing was verticals. Siebel launched verticals. Horizontals were already there. Siebel launched verticals also. Verticals included pharma, etc. Okay. Siebel also used to have, let me see. I do not know when e-sales and e-sales, but like we call it customer applications, customer horizontals. There are two types of horizontals. One are employee horizontals and customer horizontals. I do not know when the customer horizontals were launched, but I'm going to write it that they used to have it in those days. At least here I'm going to write, okay? They definitely were there in those days because I myself worked on one. Okay. All right. Siebel became a very big player in the market. CRM market got defined. I would say it was a pretty big thing. Same big partners, IBM, PwC, KPMG, all TCS, Satyam, all started very big practices, you know, Wipro, everybody started very big practices, and they used to have there were like so many tens of thousands of certified consultants, and basic consulting companies started, you know, they started becoming serious too. Okay, that's I got into Siebel at this point when it was Siebel 99 going on. Okay.
What do you mean by Desi consultant means?
Desi consulting means like not a small player, you know, like a
Indians or
home style.
other,
Yeah, Indians have opened small companies, right? Like pretty much mine, you know.
Chinese also, and whosoever maybe
Yeah.
small companies.
Basically, Indian Desi concern. Indian companies have a different rhythm to it. You know, they work on different models, you know, and when they are becoming serious about something, that means the trainings will be available quite cheap, and it's very easy to get into that area and things like that. You know, much more easier than it was before. Okay, so at this point it was established that Siebel is quite, like, you know, doing quite well. They still had like more than 90%, same way, you know, they had, you know, like big market, you know, everything was like good here. In 2000, okay, one other thing is, there is another thing to be noticed about this. Siebel also has subversions. So subversion of Siebel that became very famous was 6.3. Okay, 6.0 was not like, when people launch it, 6.0 gets launched, and 6.1, 6.2, in quick successions they will launch all these products, and 6.3 became a product which was more stable than others. 6.3 was used by Abbott Labs, by IBM, by so many other big companies. Okay, and by the way, first pharma implementation took place in Abbott Labs, and immediately all the pharmaceutical companies started absorbing Siebel. Okay, finance, all the big Merrill Lynch, they had a big Siebel implementation, and so many other banks started their Siebel implementations, and Siebel became like quite a name in banks. E-communications, all telecom companies, they started. AT&T has a very big Siebel implementation. T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint, everybody has a Siebel implementation, and they pretty much started around this time, 2000. You know, they started using Siebel for their CRM practices. Okay, in 2002, Siebel launched a product called as Siebel 7, which was very different from all these products. Say some of the salient features of these products were, these were all installed clients. You needed to install these clients on the you know, these. In chapter 4 you will learn what is an installed client, and was a difference between thick client, thin client, web client, things like that. But main thing was, these are all installed client. Installed clients, mainly the problem is, like say you want to roll it out to 2000 people, you have to install it 2000 at 2000 laptops separately. You have to install it there. If you don't install it, they cannot use Siebel. In Siebel 7 they came out with a complete web-based solution. Anybody could access it. That's the main thing. Anybody could access Siebel 7 over the web.
What is like the thick client and thin client?
You will learn it in Siebel in chapter 4. Okay, there are so many different clients of Siebel. You learn about everyone. Main thing is, you should know that whenever you learn what is a web client, you will know that it was launched in 2002, somewhere in April. It became a mega hit, and the most famous version was 7.0.3, then 7.5.2, and then these were the main most famous version. 7.5.2 being the most famous. This was the most famous version of Siebel. Okay, and then it used to be, there was no other name for it. It used to be called just Siebel 7. Same thing. Main thing was, same things were there. All these were there. All these were there. Vertical, same horizontals. They kept on launching newer and newer verticals, like for power industry, for retail industry, for consumer industry, for so many other industries. That is a very important detail, but I do not know the timeline, exact timeline of all those things, but I know that they were all there. So there is nothing to worry. My whole point is, nobody's going to ask you ever all these things, but you should know these things that I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Clarify got killed. I think SAP got into this area at some point of time. I don't know when exactly. People say SAP's CRM is very old, but I do not know. I just put it here. SAP CRM started becoming visible. That's when I started hearing some people saying, hey, you know what, SAP has a CRM too, and which one would you prefer, Siebel or SAP CRM? And I was like, what is the comparison? There is another company called as Salesforce.com. It became a competitor too. Okay, it's a pretty small company, but it is considered a competitor of Siebel. It is a competitor of Siebel. It's a pretty small company. Partnerships grew. They have even more. They became very, very big. their number of certified consultants was there were a number of like all these independent there are so many independent consultants, you know, who took this thing, you know, uh, um, um, training of Siebel. Okay, then Desi consulting companies, everybody had a shop, everybody wanted to open a Siebel shop. I was hired by so many companies in those days, 2002 2003, to train their guys in Siebel. I did so many trainings at that time. Okay, so Siebel 7.5.2 had web client. There were some other major changes done. I'm gonna put those major changes. You wouldn't understand them now, but still you will. You know, they are very important for you to know that this is when it was done. Okay, there is a thing called as party model. Siebel party model was introduced at this point. It is chapter 16 in your videos. You will learn about party model. This party model was introduced in 2002. The first version where it was introduced was in Siebel 7. Employee table was eliminated. Okay, these are some of the big things that people started talking about. They used to talk about these things a lot. Main thing is web. If somebody says, hey, what is the difference between Siebel 7 and Siebel 6? If you say, hey, you know what, main thing is party model and web client. These are the two main things I see. Just as you say that, you are done. You should know. So down the line, you definitely need to know what is party model. Down the line, you need to understand what is web client. Okay. Main thing I want you to catch is my thought and the versions and how Siebel has been rolling out. Main thing, some of the things is in other cases 8 is more important. In Siebel, in case of Siebel, subversion number is very very important too. 7.5 was very different from 7.0. Okay, so these are some of the things that one must notice. Web client. I'm think if something else might come to my mind, I'll put it here. You know what all major features of Siebel 7 were. Change differences. This to also call it. This used to be also called as zero footprint client. It's a very interesting name. You will learn more about this zero footprint client in chapter 4 and chapter 5. That's when you will understand why it is called a zero footprint client. Okay, and all right. In April 2004, Siebel 7.7 was launched. See, 7.7 was very different from 7.5. And in those 2 years, that was the first major version that came out. Very important thing, Siebel 7.5.2 is it was very very unstable. It was very hit. It was a very big hit, but it was very unstable also. Very slow. There were so many problems in that. Okay, and some of the patches that they released, especially I can tell you what there was a patch called as patch 212 of Siebel 7.5 became quite famous as it made the systems crash. This is important historical detail, right? If you say you have been working in Siebel for 6 years, you should know these small things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying somebody will come and catch your collar and say, tell me what was patch 212.
I agree.
You know, in general discussions it comes on and you should be knowing
gives
things.
more confidence as well as
Yes.
And the one thing. So as you kindly written that.
Sure. It used to crash.
Okay. Yes. Crash.
It used to crash.
Okay.
And Siebel used not to run properly. It used to hang a lot. That's
Okay.
unstable.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And some, like, let's say you are doing you are uploading the lists. List will not get uploaded properly. It will hang. You have to kill the server and you have to restart the server. That's instability. Okay. All of a sudden, you know, the response time will become too much that it will just hang. Then you will click on the create button. You know, Siebel will evaporate. Okay. So it is slow and instability. They are kind of similar thing, but it is so slow that it doesn't work. So that's instability. Okay. Siebel 7.7 was introduced in April 2004. Somewhere before that, I'm not, so just, it's a working knowledge that you need to have. I do not know the exact scientific date when it was launched. And I guess it is a totally, not an important detail. Important detail is you should try to understand like the thought process and the kind of feeling of the history. You see, I mean, to work with, to drive a good Honda car, you don't need to know, you know, when Honda Accord was this thing, but you should know a little bit. Right? When was Honda Accord's recent 2007 model was launched? We do not know, but we know that it has been launched, and you know we know things about it. So this is just it is all working knowledge you need to have about this thing. Main thing was it became little fast. That was some things. It had all the same good features, web client and all that. They also changed a few things, like they actually changed the address table. I'm sorry, changed the address table. Addresses are stored in some specific table in Siebel. For some reasons they changed it. Okay, main thing that they did was they also added view link bar. Okay, there was one problem in Siebel 7.5 called as this back button of Internet Explorer. This back button of Internet Explorer used not to work. Used not to work in case of Siebel 7.5. It used not to be work. It used not to work. In Siebel 7.7 they started making it work. So they started they basically made some small big changes. Okay, it was a big major problem because people while using Siebel, they used to click on this quite easily, and it used not to work. It used to make it used to make Siebel hang, unstable, and Siebel used to crash immediately, but only on the client side, not on the server side. Still, it is a big deal. You're working and all of a sudden everything closes. You don't like it, right? Let's say you're working here and this Excel just closes. You won't like it, right? Without saving anything, that will be big deal, right? So it used to be a pretty big deal. I'm not worrying about address, spelling mistakes and all that. Okay. They also introduced something called as, this is a major technical change, workflow in tools. Previously, workflows used to be in, workflow designer in tools. Previously, workflow designer used to be in client. Still in all these versions. In all these versions, workflow used to be in client, workflow designer. Down the line, you will know what is workflow designer. Then you will know, oh, okay, so this is the one which was launched in Siebel 2000 in April 04 in Siebel 7.7. 7.7 was quite a big hit, and it was immediately absorbed by some companies like all the major clients like Cisco. Okay, so and one more thing, in 7.5.2, 6 to 7.5, it used to be called as a major upgrade. Why? Because Siebel had to be, so there was like some very big upgrade projects. So even today, if somebody has Siebel 6 and he wants to upgrade it to 7, these are called as upgrade projects, and they are like 9 months project, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year projects, and they are very complex projects. So you need to know that there used to be something called as upgrade projects, and there are still some upgrade projects going on. Like I know that Abbott Labs is doing an upgrade project right now as we are talking. It's Apple
6 to 7.
Yes. Siebel upgrading upgrading Siebel is like a big deal. Let's say you are using test director and you want to use now test director 7. You think it's a big deal? It's not a big deal. They just simply, they can do it in 2 days, 2 or 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 10 days. If you're using Microsoft Word, you just uninstall and install the new upgraded version. But in case of Siebel, it is not easy. So we'll see why Siebel upgrades are very. We will see this if you get an upgrade project. Okay, we'll touch that topic only if if we are doing. I have done 2 upgrade projects. So I know each and everything about upgrades. Okay, but we'll touch that topic only if you get into an upgrade project. So there are so many. One more thing, 6 to 7 was very complex upgrade. We used to call those major upgrades. Okay, minor upgrades are 7.0 to 7.5, 6.0 to 6.3, 6.3 to 6.5. These are called as minor upgrades. So we learned about minor and major upgrades also. I'm writing this point here. We just learned. Okay, so 7.5 to 7.7 is also considered a major upgrade. If not a major, then medium level upgrade. It is quite complex too, because address data is very crucial, and Siebel moved address tables, and it used to be really and Siebel also moved workflows. Workflows are also very important, and Siebel moved workflows also in the tools. Because of that, it's a pretty big change, and 7.5 to 7.7 upgrades are also considered quite this thing. Yes, in fact, when there were so many problems in 7.5, some of the companies they washed before they took. 7.7 was immediately absorbed by many companies, Cisco being one of them, and there were so many other companies which absorbed. Same, all these horizontals were present. They added more verticals. They added a lot of more screens also. They added a lot more functionality also. Okay, so if, for example, in Siebel marketing they added programs and plans. So Siebel marketing became a big hit at this point. Siebel marketing. So they added so many things. Not only Siebel marketing, they added so many things in so many things. All these things is not something that you want to really know, but really you need to know some of the things that I have seen as a buzzword, Like I was talking to this CRM head of this company, as part of my interview, and he was asking me all these questions. He just started talking. The only thing is, when you talk all these things, they know that you're familiar with the tool, with Siebel. So they say, hey, I said, you know what? He said that, hey, you know what? Programs and plans were added in Siebel 7. I said, no, look, they were actually present in 2002. The only thing is they were not elaborate. So he said, oh, really? Then we started talking. He said, no, no, no. I think it was introduced in 2004 only. Then I said, okay, let me check back on the internet and then I'll get back to you. But I think it was added back then. Nobody used them. So I was wrong. I came back to him and he said, you see, it came out to be wrong. But he got impressed because it's not about knowing the facts. It's about having those thought processes. You see, you think like that. Making sense? So I have seen that. I mean, yeah, let's say you say, hey, you know what, but some of the things are very big. If you say, web client was added in Siebel 6, then nobody's going to like it. If somebody says web client was added, that was the only web-based client in Siebel, then you can counter argue, hey, you know what, they were in Siebel 5 too, because there were some web clients in Siebel 5. They used to be there. They used to be there, but those were not used much. Web client, right? Mm-hmm. Which can be used over the web, right?
Yeah.
So Siebel used to have web clients in Siebel 6 also. Yes, though it's not known to many people though.
But basically, web client, I thought that as you have initially you told that for clients only they have to load everything on the client machine. They cannot be as a server and everybody can approach the server.
Exactly, but in case of
web client now you have told.
No, in case of installed client, that used to be done. In web client, you can directly, without any installation, you can go to Internet Explorer and have a URL, put login ID, password. You can just use it. So it used to be a URL. Making sense? Mm-hmm. So it used to be you know what is a URL, right, Mr. Ken?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
What do we write in the address?
Exactly. Exactly.
No, but still I am a little bit confused.
You asked me web client and install client differences and all that. For that, you can listen to chapter 4 video. I'm recording this thing also so that everybody should know. And till you hear that, you cannot really know what is the web client and install client. What is the significance of that? Okay, but at least we know. See, important thing is not to have these facts. Important thing is to have this thought process and at least have an approximate idea, right? Like if you by mistake say, I think horizontals were added in Siebel 5 days. Oh, sorry, verticals were present in Siebel 5 days. No. You're not making a big mistake. You see, I mean, this is not a big mistake. Problem is, actually, good thing is you are having that thought process. Okay. There are not these managers, Siebel managers are not concerned about whether you know it or not. The only thing is they want to have they want you to have a mature thought, and I guess you do that, and that's more important here. Now in April, I think April or 2006, or I think somewhere in August or something, I think in April only, they launched Siebel 7.8. Actually, I take it, yes, it was in rather Jan 2006, little bit before or little bit after that. Okay, now one of the features that I remember and they had added is Outlook synchronization. Outlook synchronization means in Microsoft Outlook there used to be a Siebel toolbar. You can add contacts directly from there. You can basically, there was a Outlook, Microsoft Outlook and Siebel could talk. That was a great feature. Everybody liked it. So many people upgraded to 7.8 and and they added that feature in their implementation. One of the companies that I know for sure is Organon, which did that, and there are so many other companies. Other feature it was having was Outlook synchronization had, this was Service Pack 2. Remember there was a Windows XP Service Pack 2? It was supported, with 7.8 was supporting that. Okay, so these are some of the things that were present in 7.8. Same view link bar was there, but other thing was that I have one more thing that I can add here is task based interface. If you task based interface probably was added in 7.7 or 7.8, I'm not sure. The only thing is you should know what is task based interface, and you should have this dimension to your thought that there is a thing called a task based interface, and it was added some point of time in the history. I'm pretty sure not many American managers would even know what is a task based interface. So you're going to work for one of them, right? So they won't even be knowing that this is a thing. But what it means is home page for every entity or every screen. This is what it really means. And there are so many other things which it means, but we will not get into that right now. We should know that it was added some point of time very recently. Then in December 2006, I think December or November or October, they launched Siebel 8. I do not know any company which is using Siebel 8. I do not know what are the special features in Siebel 8. I'm learning as you guys are, and there is really nothing I know about it. I just know that it is the first version after Oracle acquired Siebel. And Siebel was holding on to this version, I think, before they wanted the first acquisition to take place, and that's when they wanted to do this thing. This is my gut feeling. Rest I do not know. Okay. So in 2006, somewhere in October, we heard this news. Just a minute, 2006 or 2005? Let me think. Last year, October 2006. I was here only, right? Just a minute. No, I think this year only. Last year only. This is 2007 going on, right?
Right.
In 2006 only they acquired Siebel. Let us check. Quite early. 2006 May they acquired. Yeah. So it was in. This was in. This was in not in October 2006 but October 2005. Okay. Okay. Oracle acquired Siebel. So this is the history of all the Siebel versions. What were the major things that were rolled out? Who are the major partners and everything? What is it? There is a concept of certified consultants. I just told you what this is conceptually. This is not important. Trust me. Important thing is this: that you know that there is a thing called a certified consultants, and having an X number of certified consultant is very it's kind of add values to your organization. So this is what I wanted to teach you. Basic consultant, you should know. It's just a new dimension. I just think it is important for you to know. When basic consultants became competitors. It is a good dimension to your thought. You should know that there was Scopus. Not many people know about Scopus, and Clarify people know about it. Sometimes they talk about it, because you guys have experienced more than 6 years, so you should know that Clarify is there. Clarify was there. SAP. Oh yeah. By the way, here one thing is SAP is a big player too, and is capturing market of Siebel. Okay, this is a very important thing that you should know. SAP CRM is creating problems for Siebel, but Siebel still is holding 60% of the market. It is bigger than ever. The market itself has grown very big. Okay.
But this SAP is also having the same modules what the Siebel is using. I don't feel that all.
I've not seen SAP CRM, but SAP CRM should be much rudimentary in nature. That's my gut feeling. Siebel is very, very elaborate. It has about maybe 30 major product lines. For each product line, they have more than 300 screens. It's quite big. It's quite big as far as this thing is concerned. Siebel this, and there is no name for this thing. There is nothing like Siebel 2007 or anything. It's just Siebel 8, and I think it has just been launched. I have not even heard anybody saying we need a Siebel 8 person. I have not heard. I do marketing every day. I have never heard anybody saying that. This is June 2007 going on. Nobody talks about Siebel 8 as of now. They just know that it has been launched. I think it was not launched in December 2006. It was launched a little later than that. Again, this is immaterial. It is not immaterial. I mean, when was it launched? It's a $20 billion thing launched. You should know. But main thing is, nobody's going to ask about these things. Facts and figures is not what we are trying to catch. We're trying to catch the ideas. We should know that these, people. One of the main ideas that we are gathering is history of Siebel products is very important for your success. And when the new product is launched, you should be knowing what are their features and what they can do, what they cannot do. When you are so involved in a tool, it is your bread and butter, and it is a bread and butter of that company also. They want to know what are the new features coming down the line. This is another good idea that we are getting. This is like in Test Director. Are you really waiting for Test Director 10? Are you waiting? No, right? There is nothing. There is nothing like a vision. Like these are the features that we want, and Test Director should have it. There is nothing like a vision that QTP 9, oh, what all features will be there. But in case of Siebel, these are mission critical tools. Everybody watches what all new things Siebel will launch. So Siebel has the plans for next 4 years, 5 years, and they basically educate people in their CRM forums or CRM seminars they hold, and they educate people what we are going to launch. Okay, for example, in January 2006, when or October 2005, when Oracle acquired Siebel, Siebel market immediately went down. People were like, what will Oracle do with Siebel? Will it kill Siebel or will it keep Siebel? Oracle fortunately kept Siebel. Not only that, it started pushing Siebel. Today, this is one very important fact that you know. In June 2007, Siebel is very, very popular and affordable product. One more thing, Siebel launched sometime somewhere during these days. Siebel launched something called as CRM on demand.com, which was a direct competitor of Salesforce.com. CRM on demand is a web-based tool. There is some things about it. It is a very cheap tool, just $70 a month per person. You can have it. It's quite a cheap tool. The only thing is it is like Salesforce.com. It is not very customizable, things like that. So CRM on demand is not. I'm not talking about it here, but it was somewhere launched sometime during this sales only. Salesforce.com is a major competitor of Siebel, and CRM on demand is a competitor of that company. And Siebel is very, very affordable because Oracle can afford to give it for free also. Oracle is actually giving 90% discount on Siebel right now to many companies. So I have heard some small companies. Previously Siebel used to be only in big corporations. Now Siebel is in all the small companies. Can you imagine E-meter, T-meter, Tidal Wire, H-wire, North Bank, T-bank, any small bank here is using Siebel also. Siebel there is being used as a platform also. They introduced something called as in Oracle acquired Siebel, they introduced something called as component object model. If you don't want to buy the whole application of Siebel, you can buy only the database, or you can buy the business logic layer, or you can only buy the GUI, which was very interesting. So they are kind of trying to they are trying to portray Siebel as a platform, that you can use this as a platform and build other applications, which is a pretty big push. Only Oracle can do that. Siebel alone could not do it. So I would say Siebel is becoming very, very popular. It started becoming very popular in January 2006. After October 2005, for 3 months, Siebel, I was also thinking of packing my stuff and going to India because my bread and butter is Siebel only. I don't know anything other than Siebel. In January 2006, I realized this is the time to stay, and we all know there are so many implementations going on. There's a huge demand for BAs. There's a huge demand for developers. It is a very big demand for testers also. Siebel testers have to be very specialized. They need only Siebel tester. They cannot use any other tester. Siebel is a very, very involved GUI. So these are some of the things of Siebel which I really feel that you guys should know.
So can you this Oracle, which module of Siebel?
This is the Oracle suite of products. I came here. I came to oracle.com. This is oracle.com. I came to oracle.com. Then I came to products and services. Okay, just a minute. I think on the homepage also we have something. See, these are the various different types of applications that Siebel Oracle has. Oracle on demand is, I think, nothing but Siebel on. See this. It is just launching it as a separate application. It is not trying to make it a part of the whole suite. Calling it something else. Siebel is still Siebel. PeopleSoft is still PeopleSoft. JD Edwards is still JD Edwards. Do you see my point? Everything is just same way.
But basically, once already a market is there for the Siebel, so he is also marketing Siebel.
Oracle. Oracle has bought Siebel.
What Siebel?
Yeah. Acquired means bought, right? See, these are the various. I encourage you to go to this website every day. Whenever if you get into Siebel, this is your everything. You need to know what new things are coming, what old things are there. What is going on. Partner relationship management is this is another thing that you could somewhere here it was launched. PRM, I would say it was launched a little bit before, maybe here PRM was launched. They used to call it e-channel at that point.
E-channel.
Now they call it PRM. Yeah. One more thing, this is e-channel. Okay, then workflow, it used to be called workflow manager here. Okay, this workflow called, this is just a small detail.
Okay.
Workflow manager ko they started calling business process manager. Same thing. You should know this thing because you might look for workflow manager now. There is no workflow manager now. There is a business process manager. So you can see, you should go to this website and try to understand what's going on. And this is what we just noticed so far.